Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is the first of a series, probably a rather long series, of learning to knit by making a Christmas stocking. Lefties, I am including you. During the process, I want to make two stockings, one right-handed that I already have planned, and one left-handed that's going to be an awful lot like the original pattern. Right here, I'm going to insert a short video of a portrait. The baby in the portrait is my mother. The lady, she's being held by her mother. So these are the two women. Basically, they're the reason why I knit. Now, my grandmother had made for me, make sure this gets in focus, a Christmas stocking. One for me and each of my siblings. They all have our first name and the year we were born, and then Christmas tree or a Santa. Let's see if I can get that closer for you to see. Oops, nope. Come on, Santa, show yourself. There you go. It's a little worn. I keep thinking it's more worn than it really is, but it has seen better days. My grandmother made this for me. I said that already. By the way, I hate editing, so I'm going to leave in mistakes. That should be fun. I noticed as a young child, this would be early 1970s, that my mother did not have a Christmas stocking, and I wanted to make her one, which meant I needed to learn how to knit. And so one year for Christmas, I received 2 pairs of aluminum knitting needles and a skein, at least one skein of yarn, probably Red Heart. I know the knitting needles were by boy. There was a size 8 and size 10. I know exactly, well, I don't know exactly, but I know I still have the size 10. I don't know where the 8s are. I'm pretty sure I still have them. Anyway, that was a long time ago. And I got some sort of a book, a pattern, and learned how to knit, one of those things. And I followed the instructions exactly and could not for the life of me get it to work. Either the stitches fell off, or I made them so tight so they wouldn't fall off that it was useless to try and work them. It was just too much effort. So I put it all to the side, and I learned myself. I taught myself how to crochet. Now when I say I taught myself, I mean from one of those book things I taught myself. See, this was for you young folks who may be watching. This was before YouTube. It was before the internet. It was before DVDs. It was even before VCRs. Long time ago. Mom didn't know squat about knitting or crocheting. Grandmother was on the other side of the country. I didn't know anyone who, and I was really shy to ask. I didn't know anyone who knew how to knit. So I crocheted. Got fairly good at that. Kept trying to go back to knitting. Excuse me, and I said this in an earlier video. At one point, someone turned me on to wooden needles. Or I forget how. I wound up getting some bamboo needles. But I gave it a go so I could knit. I learned the process. I learned what's the best way for me to knit. let's see. No, I'm missing an important step here. Oh, the pattern. Well, I tried figuring out the pattern for mine, but it has seen better days, and so it's slightly felted, and so counting the stitches in rows was just, yeah, it wasn't going to happen. So I went around the internet and tried to find a nice, usable Christmas stocking pattern, and I found this one, or the one that my grandmother had to have used it. Link below. And so I set forth in making a stocking for my mother. And let's see, get it straight. Here it is. I put pretties on the trees because there are mistakes here and there, and I thought this would distract from the mistakes. Well, she was impressed as I wanted her to be. So she passed about a month later after I gave this to her for her birthday. She passed about a month later when I knew she was sick, so I was really determined to get this done for her. So after doing this one, so went on making scarves and hats and other things, and I realized that I had nieces, a niece and a couple of nephews, 3 to be specific. They didn't have Christmas stockings. Well, the one family lives here locally, or locally enough for for Los Angeles. So I made Christmas stockings for each of them in this style. And then I made one for their father, and then I made one for my brother's wife and her 2 children from a previous marriage, and then I made one for my sister out in Michigan, not for her, but for her husband, her younger son. I've since made one for her first granddaughter. She wanted a new one for herself, so I made another one for her. And I'm left now to make one for my eldest nephew, which would be my sister's firstborn. I made one for his wife, and now they've recently had another daughter. So I need to make Nick's, my eldest nephew's, stocking, and Harper. Harper's I haven't designed yet, so that'll be part of the process along with these videos. Because I really do want to go over just everything I know about knitting. Because everything I know about knitting has been, I've learned and I've noticed because of the Christmas stockings. So it means a lot to me. The next video, I'm going to go over setting everything up. Looking at the pattern, how to figure out the pattern for yourself. Like the name needs to be placed, and what sort of decoration do you want? Do you want a Christmas tree, a Santa, a reindeer, that sort of thing. I'll show you some of the previous designs I've done to back up. So the materials needed, the pattern, of course, eventually the yarn, needles, the tapestry needle. I don't think, well, a measuring tape would be helpful once we get down to the foot, but not totally necessary because it's a Christmas stocking. Who cares? I mean, just as long as, you can eyeball it. So I said before, the link to the pattern is below. I'm putting in another link It is for an Excel file. It is a spreadsheet that, and I forget, I can't think of who the web page is, but it's interesting. They've got some interesting patterns. These people, they made a spreadsheet, made, you know, the little tiny squares, adjusted everything so that you could plan things out on the spreadsheet. That's the way I like to do it. I'll discuss that too. And graph paper, I don't know if I mentioned that. 1/4-inch graph paper, that's I believe it has 2 squares by 2 squares per inch. That's a bit big. In fact, that's definitely too big for really planning anything out if you want to change the, the style of the letters. I'm going to try for the first time where it's 5 by 5 per inch. And I've used in the past 10 by 10 per inch. You have to use 10 by 10 if you're going to try and get the entire stocking on one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You have to do the 10 by 10. But I also have a trick to not need a paper pattern, but that's for the next video. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. The Christmas stocking story, Mom and Grandma, what you'll need, links below. Yeah, that's it. So I will see you. I hope. I am planning every weekend to post a new video. That's the hope. Whether or not my mental illness gets in the way, I don't know. The bipolar depression garbage, it's gotten in the way this time. Also, another thing that's happening that could delay me is that I want to move out of California. And I've got a shed full of stuff accumulated that I've accumulated, and stuff that I got kind of stuck with when my mom passed and we cleared out her house. There are a lot of things that I still have in the shed. So I need to go through all of that, repack, reorganize, reduce, shred, repack, and I started that at least 2.5 months ago, but it's been raining a lot here in Southern California, a lot, pretty much every weekend. So that got me down a bit. So I didn't do these videos either. That added to some depression. But now, because I work full-time, I have to balance cleaning out the shed and doing these videos. And, we'll see what happens. Next week I'll be on vacation, so I should be able to get some good work done there. You may notice that right now, that as of March 2019, the title of my channel is Helen Sarkisian, aka The Messy Desk. Eventually I'm going to just leave it The Messy Desk, because that's going to be an that's going to be a lifelong problem that I have. Anyway, thank you for joining in. I'll see you in the next video, I hope. And did I say lefties? Yes, I did. Lefties, I am including you, because I notice most of the knitting videos I see leave you out. And they also leave out different ways to knit. So I want to cover all of that. See you in the next video. Bye.